out there tonight, didn't it?
Yeah, it sure did. Storms coming in from the west and gust fronts coming in from the east, and this was one of the results. This was the storm, you guys, before it came in. It was sitting over the West Mesa for a while and just outside of town, and then eventually it rolled right on through, and as it did, it ran into a gust front, actually a couple of different gust fronts, and then the storms just exploded over the city. So this has been a pretty good night for storms across the area. Good looking shot there. We appreciate our guys up in the booth doing the necessary work to do the time lapse there. Here's a look at what's going on with the showers across the area. Most of them now have pushed up into the heights and over Sandia Peak at this point. Out to the west side, not as much action anymore, but if you go north on I-25 between Albuquerque and Santa Fe, do you see a little twist right here? Those little twists in the atmosphere that's just kind of sliding across and touching off more showers here just to our north. And when you get one of those little twists, which we talk about all the time, you can end up with some heavy rain underneath them. And that's what we're seeing just to the north of the metro area. But you can see these gust fronts here, and they come flying out and help to form those storms here right over the city. These will work to our east throughout the next about 45 minutes or so, and the city itself will clear out. But if you go from Santa Fe northward, up into Taos, we have some storms going. Southern Sangre de Cristo Mountains will see some more storms throughout the overnight hours, especially early overnight hours. Wouldn't be surprised if Las Vegas picks up some more showers. Up around Ruidoso, picking up some showers there too. And as far as what's going on with the flood advisories and flood watches, at this point, mainly it's just flash flood watches through the rest of the evening across the east slopes of the northern mountains, stretching out into the Raton area and the I-25 corridor. Watch out here. I do think the Weather Service is going to pull this off the board shortly. 67 degrees in the metro, northeast winds at 13, but gusting as high as 23 miles an hour. Temperatures to the north 50s and 60s, down to the south 70s and 80s at this point, and the showers continue to slide to the east right now, and back toward the west. We're already starting to dry out, and tomorrow is not going to be a particularly wet day across western New Mexico. But what we had today was a wind shift and a cold front of sorts just slide in across the east side of the state. That pushed moisture up the east slopes of the northern mountains and into the east mountains here. And here in the metro area, what we saw was that cool air start to pool its way and push its way in off of thunderstorms. And it's one of these gust fronts that came through and it collided with that storm we showed you in the time lapse. So as these two collided, they literally made the pow sound. And yes, we saw a big expansion of those storms right over the metro area, and often that's what happens for us. Colliding gust fronts are a huge deal. They really help to get storms going, and that happened tonight. Now, the overall trend is going to be for a little drier weather here. We've talked about this before, and that is that high pressure, which has been sitting to our east, is going to try to nose in and draw a little more dry air into especially western New Mexico for tomorrow and the state as a whole over the next few days. So slowly what we'll see here is fewer and fewer storms across the area, and take a look at the highs by Thursday into Friday. We're getting warm once again into the mid 90s in the valley, down across Carlsbad and Roswell near 100 degrees, high 80s and low 90s around places like Gallup. Let's go region by region. Low 80s across southern Colorado, sun and clouds. A scattered storm will be possible late, but again, western portions of the viewing area just not going to see as much action as the east will for tomorrow. 80s and 90s across the southwest, but look what happens over here to the southeast. Better chance at storms here. Even though it's going to be really hot, we are going to see that heat kind of back off late in the day if we can get some storms going. Southern mountains look pretty good too. Northeast looks good here for some more storms tomorrow. Northern mountains going to be pretty active, maybe not quite as active as today with that kind of steady light to moderate rain. You guys will see more thunderstorms popping in and out for tomorrow. Over to the east mountains, partly sunny and mild. We will see some afternoon storms in the area, and here in the metro area we're going to have our chance to get some more storms going. Temperatures in the high 80s and low 90s, but I do think that shot of showers will start to back off a bit as we head throughout the work week and into the early portion of the weekend.
All right. Thank you, Mark.